Hello, my guest today is Dr. Ishan Shivanan. Dr. Shivanan, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again because it's not the first time that you come to Mauritius.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You are a mental health researcher and expert in yoga sciences. You've come all the way from California. Maybe you could tell our listeners and viewers a bit more about yourself.
Yes, ma'am. So, my history is that I'm an expert in the Indic sciences. So, Indic sciences are the sciences that come out of India, where we have done extensive research and study on yoga, meditation, and these Indian knowledge systems are extremely relevant to one's mental health in today's world. So taking those Indic knowledge systems, we do mental health research around the world to see which of these systems are most relevant for a person's mental health, and then we see where the practical application of these systems can be made, be for students, healthcare, or military.
I said it before, it's not the first time. I think it's your third visit to Mauritius. What's the aim of your visit this time?
So, Madam, Mauritius is my second home. I have lived in Mauritius for 5 years almost, from 2015 to 2019. And
where about exactly?
I was in the west of the island.
Okay.
And I have been coming to the island since 2008. And this is the place that I find extremely close to my heart and under the blue sky. If somebody asks me, which is the place that you consider home, first it has to be India and then it's Mauritius. So my objective has been very simple: to bring the knowledge and research that exists in mental health back to the countries that gave me so much, because there is a lot of work that has been done in Western countries, because they started to face and understand the mental health crisis a few decades earlier. And now we see in our countries like India and Mauritius, that the youth is facing these troubles of stress, troubles of addiction, troubles of burnout. So my objective is to bring the scientific standards of mental health and these science-backed modalities to help bring mental health to our countries to benefit the citizens.
You're going to conduct a workshop, if I can put it, on Friday the 13th.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to stress on the power of meditation. Maybe a few words on meditation itself?
It is the answer. The answer when we sit alone in night and we have tried everything and we do not know what is going to help us, when we are taking our fourth drink to silence our thoughts, yet the thoughts keep on becoming more and more demonic in a way. It is the power to overcome the helplessness that we have faced when we are overburdened with the life's challenges, and it's a power that all of us deserve to help and learn. And that is why this program that I'm doing, it's free for all, and I invite all the Mauritians to please come and learn, not just for yourself but for your family, for parents who do not know how to handle their children and their stresses, for husbands who do not know how to handle their marriages, for wife whose husband is not doing well with his habits. Everyone can benefit from this, for students who are overburdened with the stress and the technicalities of modern living. So I believe what I'm going to teach is going to help everyone.
Can anyone practice meditation?
Of course. It is like breathing. It is a skill. It is like, can anyone drive? So if we come from a draconian culture that says, oh, women can't drive, or oh, certain people don't deserve, that is the difference between religion and science. Religion sometimes creates boundaries. Meditation is healthcare. It is personal care. It is wellness. It's a skill that anybody can learn, and as long as we have cognitive capability, then we can learn it and benefit from it.
And how can meditation help our mental health?
So first of all, madam, what meditation does is, if I simplify it for the listeners, it makes us extremely resilient. Stress is when we are unable to cope with the extreme changes that are happening in our life. That's the simple definition, that our body is not able to cope with everything that's around us and the noise that we experience day in and day out. To overcome stress, we need a sense of resilience. That resilience comes through meditation, where we can look at the stress that is coming and we are not overburdened by it, and we feel we have the power, and that is most important. This feeling that we have the power and we are in control. Meditation can help give us that and help us in such a way that we can have that peace. And this translates into physiological health, because now through research we know that long-term stress, chronic stress, has physiological impact. It impacts our cardiovascular disease, it impacts our brain health, and if we are suffering from any chronic disease like cancer, then it is seen that stress can aggravate all the symptoms of the said disease, and it can delay our healing processes. So mental health correlates to our physiological health as well, our socio-economic health as well, our intrapersonal health as well. Hence, mental health is the key to survival.
Some people would say that they can't concentrate, so they can't meditate. Maybe you have a few tips to share with us?
Of course, madam. It is unfortunate in today's world that when it comes to scrolling on a cell phone, we are willing to give 5 hours a day.
Maybe more sometimes.
Maybe more. 5 hours is the international average, as the data that iOS has released, because Apple has this application called Screen Time, and the national data keeps on releasing in the United States, and then we have the aggregate average data of the countries, which is 4 to 5 hours in a young person's life. That is the amount of time that we are spending for brain rot. Brain rot is the term of Oxford Dictionary, the word of 2024, that says losing our cognitive capabilities by overconsumptions of nonsensical information on social media. So we are giving ourselves 5 hours to rot our brains, and when it comes to meditation, we are expecting to concentrate in 2 minutes, and if it doesn't work, we are ready to give up. How ironical is that? If a person gives time, puts an effort, then they are able to meditate. And we did that research. We found that 1 day of meditation doesn't help. 1 month of meditation may help, but then the symptoms that existed pre-meditation seem to return after a week or so. But 3 months of meditation has long-term, quantifiable, irreversible benefits.
So it will definitely benefit on us.
Definitely. Irreversible benefits, long-term benefits, but time and effort. It's always
and
time and effort.
We must not give up.
Of course. Discipline is the key. For anything, discipline is the key, madam.
What's the best time to practice meditation?
Early morning and late evening. So just after you get up or just before you're going to sleep. That is the time that impacts your brain health the most.
How many minutes do we need to meditate?
5 to 10 minutes minimum has seen to show quantifiable deviation in your mental health charts. So when we do the studies, we have these standardized testing parameters through which we see a person's anxiety or a person's depression or a person's insomnia. We have these scales, and even 5 to 10 minutes a day, imagine just 5 to 10 minutes, we have quantifiable changes in this data.
So if somebody has never done meditation, and when he or she wants to do it, maybe in her mind she is thinking what I'm going to cook tonight or whatever, what shall we do to be able to concentrate?
So, madam, when we talk about meditation, there are various methodologies. The meditation that you are referring to right now is part of the IKS model, Indian knowledge system, and it is inspired from the Buddhist modalities like Vipassana, where you just have to close your eyes and contemplate on your thoughts.
Okay.
This meditation was for monks, because monks had to first leave their family, they had to leave their houses, they had to leave their wives, their children. So now when you don't have any stress, it's easy to close your eyes and contemplate. You don't have any taxes to pay. But for grahast, people who are householders, this meditation doesn't seem to help. So it's very important that we look at the IKS models and the model that is correct for our stage of life. So IKS has done a lot of work. You have to understand, India is an ancient civilization. We have thousands of years of recorded history, and then we have the mythology where we do not have the records, but there is a history that's associated. So they have done a lot of work, and based on a person's occupation, based on a person's age, based on a person's whereabouts, there are many methods and modalities that are best prescribed for that person, that will benefit that person. So we must not have stereotypes and biases. It's very important, because when it comes to healthcare, we just don't go to our sabji wala and say that I have problem in my kidney, can you help me? In the same way, when it comes to meditation, I don't know why people just seem to take advice from random people on YouTube, thinking that that's the best advice. No, it's not. Meditation is part of mental health, and mental health is part of healthcare. So we must get the correct advice, and if we do that, then meditation is possible for every single person, madam.
Do we need some music in the background when we meditate?
That is a form of meditation, which if you choose and does benefit you, because there are various forms of sound therapy as well that some people have claimed to benefit from, but these are more of a new age esoteric concept, because when it comes to meditation, you have to understand it's like an economy. Everybody in the world wants to sort of bring an edge to their knowledge system. So if we look at yoga, and the West took yoga from the East, and then the West was trying to promote their yoga, and then everybody started to promote yoga. So one person whose shop existed, he's like, how do I differentiate myself? So he said, it's a 10,000-year-old system, but I will make it better by adding, let's say, goats to it, or alcohol to it, or something to it. So just to make it unique, people sort of bring deviations, bring alterations, adulterations, but it doesn't mean that these are the best modalities. So I would recommend music. It's not the best possible thing, because it sort of changes the whole point. The point is to go within, and music, and if you have an ulterior distraction, how will you go with it?
It can distract your mind.
Of course.
Absolutely. And you are an expert in yoga sciences. Do yoga and meditation go together?
Meditation is a part of the yogic sciences, because yogic sciences are quite vast. So I was talking to somebody today, and I was trying to explain to them that people think they know yoga because they have seen somebody on the internet do asanas, the physical posture, stretching, and they correlate all of the yoga to stretching. It's like me saying Mauritius is equal to Dodo. And it's an irrelevant statement. Mauritius has so much to offer. Mauritius has so many cultures, so much food, so many languages, so many flavors, so much history. Mauritius is not equal to Dodo. Yoga is not equal to asana. It is a fallacy. Meditation is a part of yoga. So a person can do yoga, and when they do, they will get a taste of meditation. And if a person just does meditation, then he's not completely doing yoga.
Okay. And when you start meditate, do you feel a difference soon after?
We can feel difference immediately after meditation. I work in various schools in Mauritius. I remember about 5-7 years ago, I traveled all over Mauritius, going to almost every school. One of the first schools that I partnered with was the 𝗃𝗄𝗃 college, and I had access to all this phenomenal Mauritian youth, and I don't know where they all are, but I used to go to all these schools. I used to go to 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃, Petit Trivanuà, all the schools where they existed, and just after one meditation session, children would be so happy, so relaxed, so peaceful, and the teachers would come to me and they would say, we see the difference, we observe it, and that's the beauty, that it's not like you're taking a vitamin where over weeks and weeks you'll have tangible differences. One proper breathwork session will have you feeling alternative states of consciousness.
It's better to do it on your own or in a group?
Groups help if you are suffering from trauma, if you're suffering from PTSD, if you're suffering from lack of motivation, if you need that intrapersonal touch. So it depends completely upon our own psyche. If you are more of an introvert, you don't like groups, then such a person's comfort zone would be to do meditation on their own. But if a person is an extrovert and a person is suffering from all these things that I said, then group seems to have a better impact. And the most important impact that the group has is compliance. So compliance is our ability to follow a discipline. Many times I've seen when we are doing it alone, we seem to lack motivation. We seem to give up. But if we are part of a community, what is called a satsang, sangha, then the compliance factor increases drastically, infinitely. And that's why I always promote to make healthy communities and meditate in those, because that will help. And then the whole social element also helps, because then monkey do as monkey see. And that's most important when it comes to children. When children will see the parents sitting meditation, they want to do the same.
Where is the best place to meditate?
So, best place to meditate is that gives you happiness, a sense of connections. For many people, it is a place of worship. That is the place they feel most centered with their own theology, with their higher power. For some people, it is the temple that they make in their house. They feel very grounded, safe. Safe is the key word here. We feel safe when we are with the higher power. We feel safe because, when you're closing your eyes, it is a sense of vulnerability. Our animal brain has not left us. Imagine if an animal in the wild is closing their eyes and just sitting, then a predator will eat him. When we are closing our eyes, we are vulnerable. And people who like to be in control do not like that vulnerability at all. So they don't want to meditate, because in a way, meditation is giving your power away, giving your control away. And we like control. We like to manipulate. So people who have faith in their lives, people who believe in a higher power, are more likely to succeed in their pursuit of meditative bliss, because they have the ability, this unique, powerful, phenomenal ability to let go of control and invite the higher power in their life.
Yes, so on Friday you're going to have an enlightening evening, and you're going to guide participants throughout meditation.
Yes, ma'am.
So the power of meditation?
Not just the power. I don't want to lecture them. I want them to experience. I want them to learn. I want a take-home value to be there, because I see a lot of times faith leaders and experts come and they just give a lecture. They give benefits of meditation, and everybody knows that these things are useful in our hearts. We know going to the gym is useful, but then how do we find that motivation, and what is the correct modality? What is the take-home value? What are the evidence-based implementation methodologies? I'm going to share those so that anybody who comes will experience, benefit, and will be able to implement.
So it's from 5 to 7 in the evening at Indira Gandhi Center in Phoenix.
Yes, madam.
Anyone can come, can join in.
Everyone is most welcome.
And after Mauritius, what are your future plans?
After Mauritius, I'm going to Dubai. After that, I'll be in India. After that, I'll be in California, then London, then India, then Austria, and so on and so forth.
So you keep traveling?
Yes, madam. I fortunately or unfortunately, because of my work, have a nomadic lifestyle.
But you enjoy it?
That is my work. That is my objective, because when it comes to mental health, you cannot be myopic. You cannot just say that that's how stereotypes and biases are made. If I just work with one religious group, or if I just work with one demographic, or work with one country, then I don't have the holistic picture. I have to work with everybody under the blue sky to really understand what makes our mind think. And that's the only way I can actually give the correct advice, because our children are connected to a global sensibility. We may be sitting in Khatrabon and thinking that, okay, this is my chai wala, this is my sabji wala, this is my life. But your child, he's in a social network made by Zuckerberg. He's in a chat room in England. He is reading news that was written in Australia. So he is connected to that global sensibility, and that is our future. So that is the mind I wish to influence and connect to.
Apart from meditation and yoga, what can we do to improve our mental health?
Find faith. Find faith. The more we lose faith, the more vulnerable we become, the more we go away from a higher power. And I've done this research countless times. Trust me, madam, I thought that Indian knowledge systems were 100% science. And if I can just take that science, because then if it's a science, then it's easy to structure. It's easy to write papers. But then I found out, whenever we did a research where we had one group that was just doing the non-theological practices, meaning yoga just as an exercise, pranayam just as breath work, versus a theological group where they were doing these protocols as if it was part of them connecting to the higher power, each time the data showed that the theological research group worked better, infinitely times much more better than the non-theological group. So if we have faith in our lives, we are likely to do so much more. We are likely to be so much more resilient, so much more happy. So try to find faith, try to have a connection with the higher power, and this will really help you, madam.
And as a mental health researcher, how do you find the future of meditation?
Like everything, it's going to get a bit interesting, as in now the new technologies are coming in. We have AI, we have all these technological structures, and everybody will start to make softwares that will be in our pocket, and that software is going to indulge us in our fallacies, in our stereotypes in a way, and sort of create a meditation for us that makes us in our comfort zone, lets us be in our comfort zone, and sort of nurture our prejudices. Whereas the whole objective of meditation is to break our comfort zone and become better than what we are right now, to ascend and to evolve. So I think in the next few years, there is going to be an over-reliance on AI and technology, which is going to create a whole generation of sheep. Yet, there are going to be a few people that will hold on to the truthful, powerful, ancient teachings, and those people are going to become the leader of men.
To conclude, Doctor, would you like to add something?
I would like to add that whomsoever is listening, thank you for spending so much time with us. And if you are listening, it shows that there is a voice inside you telling you that you need to do more in your life. So if you are listening, I would request you, motivate you to please come, spend some time, learn, and then let's see how your life improves.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I wish you a very nice stay in Mauritius.
Thank you, madam.